Hello everyone, welcome back to Spiritual Growth Tarot. I'm Denise, and today I'm going to do a reading on, I'm going to do a Kipper Grand Tableau, and I'm going to do it on the Democrats. I want to see what they will be able to accomplish between now, so mid-June, close to summer solstice, or actually right before Father's Day, 2021 through 2024, through like the end of Biden's first term. I want to see like what can be accomplished. Maybe it's not much, except for like what if it's just a lay down of laws in place that could protect us in the future. Maybe it's going to take much longer to see justice than 2024. I'm not sure. I'm completely open. You guys know me well enough to know that I think you know me. My intention is always just for the truth. So let me drop the camera down, or in this case, I have to put my tripod up really high, and then drop it down, and we'll explore it. Okay, hang in there. Be right back. Okay, so before I sit down and shuffle and lay out the cards, I wanted to let you guys know who I'm assigning these 6 people cards. So this will be, the main character will be Biden. Main character female will be Kamala Harris. Rich girl and rich gent will be any of the younger, representatives who would be, well, we'll see about the cards that come around them to give me the clues, because it could be any representative, whether or not they're, then again, you know what? I am focusing on just what the Democrats will accomplish, so actually, thanks for being with me while I think out loud. This would be, like AOC and her squad, or any of the younger reps who are supportive, Democratic reps who are supportive to the cause. Okay. And then these would be the good gent and the good lady. They would be the older representatives, Democratic representatives who are supportive, because these are, supportive cards. So we'll see, based on that, let's see what they can accomplish in the next few years. What can the Democratic Party accomplish between now and it's June? I forget. Oh, I don't even have my phone anywhere near me. I think it's either the 16th or the 17th. I've lost track of time. I just know that it's Thursday. Okay, so how will it go for the Democratic Party? What will be accomplished for the United States of America through the strength of the Democratic Party between now and I think it might be the 18th, June 18th maybe. And let's call it through I guess the next vote in December. This would take us through the midterms and up through November of 2024, like who's in, who's out, and all that stuff, right? Let's see the strength, or not. Whew. Okay, grounding down and drawing the cards. Might actually be fun to do this with the Lenormand as well. Ooh, we have the court card. Convene meetings. Okay, let me get them laid out. If you like this mat, it's available on Etsy, and the gal shop is called Mystical Stuff, all one word. And she does this lettering that's beautiful. I wrote in my own like scribbles, so don't pay attention to that. It was my way of trying to help me memorize the cards. Okay, but anyway, if this doesn't come out clear, I'll do it again, and I'll use the Lenormand just to see what that system might tell us. So we have lots of time until, let's see, does all that fit in? Yeah, it's okay. I'll talk you through it. And I decided to use this deck because the images are more clear and there's no glare because they're not shiny. And if you like it, it's the Card Geeks deck by Tony Poole, P-U-H-L-E, but it's called the Card Geeks, or the Card Geek, actually, I should say. Okay, so this is interesting. Okay, so I'm going to read the four corners first. So we have the rich gent, which, remember, I assigned to be any supportive, democratic, younger male. So this would be, you know, maybe under 55 or 60. And so that's, you know, we're in the realm of, you know, Representative Swalwell, Krishnamurthy, I would think. I could be wrong about that. But it doesn't matter. But it just looks like it'll be the younger ones. The good gent here would be the older ones, but it's in the house. They're in the house of illness, so that makes them less effective. Biden shows up in the house of sorrow, so he's not going to get done as much as he wants. But he's, you know, that doesn't mean that he's not going to work hard. Interesting. Okay, so let me just keep going. Expectation, that's the card of watching. It's the card of investigations. Now remember, these representatives, I think all of them are attorneys. They usually have a extensive legal background before they're even allowed to, you know, make it into either the Senate or the House. So they will be investigating. For sure, what we can say is that, well, at least what I'm getting is that they will be, the younger ones will be, especially the males, will be working hard to investigate in any way that they can. This is a card, it's of course, you know, like I said, apprenticeship, as far as the person card, you know, somebody who's apprenticing, someone who has a lot of ambition and they're planning. And they're focused, you know, on getting things done, on accomplishing, basically. Now, with being in the house of expectation, that tells me that they're watching, they're waiting, and they're patient, and they're investigating, like I said. It can be that they will announce something at some point in time, but it's also it's not a house of moving quickly. Interesting. And whoever these guys are, they're looking at who can they put in prison, who can they lock up, and I would say that they're they're constantly thinking about that. So they're focused on that. You can see directionally. And all of these cards are, because of the way I read directionally and the way they've landed, all of these cards are on the auspicious, they're in an auspicious position. So that means that these younger guys, which they're not that young, right? But they're, they're just not the older ones on the Democratic side, the Democratic representatives. They are thinking about who they can lock up and bring into court because of things that they have stolen. And they're going to be working on that for sure for the next 3 years, and maybe even beyond. I'm just cutting this off at 2024, at the end of 2024. That's all. That doesn't mean they wouldn't keep working. This good gent here could be somebody like Sheldon Whitehouse, but it could also be anybody, because remember, I'm grouping people according to age. I'm not assigning just any one person, except for Joe Biden is here and Kamala is here. And now this is interesting. Well, let me finish this first. I don't want to get ahead of myself or make you guys go, wait, what were you talking about? And then she jumped over there. Because it is Mercury retrograde. So anyway, so the theft card is about, stealing something. And what was stolen is this over here, which is the way people think. And these would be the crazy people that get locked up because of the insurrection. So they're working on that. They haven't stopped. They're working on that. And I really feel Swalwell here, and not so much just because this guy has his hair color, but he came to mind very strongly. And I do know that he was deeply affected by the January 6th insurrection. He had put out a phone call, he called his wife to say, I might not make it out of here alive, and I love you. Imagine having to do that. And he has I think maybe it was only a daughter, I don't know, but he at least had one young daughter, 4 or 5 years old at home. So man, but anyway, they're focused, they're thinking about who they can lock up, who is accountable, trying to figure out who's accountable. And because of, what was trying to be stolen, which was Donald John Trump calling in his special people to stop the count, stop the steal. And he's still furthering the big lie. So the effect, so these are these crazy people that need to be locked up for what they've done. And then the effect is that there might be some older people in the Democratic Party, because remember, all the people cards I have assigned them to be members of, House representatives and senators in the Democratic Party. So this would be the older ones. There's quite an effect. The stealing that happened, the insurrection that happened, the riot, all of that is affecting them, and it's not that good for them. It really gets them down. The older ones are not going to have an easier time of it. Like Patrick Lee, I'm trying to think of some of the other ones who are quite older on the Democratic side. It's more challenging for them. They have to rest. The illness card doesn't have to be somebody getting, sick and dead and ill. It just would be that they have to take their downtime to process it, and they won't be moving as quickly as the younger ones. But they're here supporting Biden. This is my Biden card. Even though he shows up in the house of sorrow, goodness, I still have to get to the four corners, but I'm doing this. He shows up in the house of sorrow, and that's really, it's him, this is Biden. He's carrying a lot more stress and worry than he shows. This shows him being having excessive demands placed upon him, and it's really hard. It's hard, and it's also, this house is it's the house of violence. It's the house of adversity. I feel like he was very successful with his meeting with Putin, but it's not. This isn't the best house for him to land in, especially because it's at the bottom, and all of this is weighing down on him. He doesn't have any control over any of this. But then again, nor should he, because the courts have to stay separate. The Merrick Garland and his Department of Justice, they have to stay separate from any executive power. That's the way it was meant to be. Just because Trump didn't do that doesn't mean that that's not the way it's going to be in the future. So he's holding a lot of burden on him. So all the prayers and energy we could send him, it would help immensely. What's knighting over to him? Okay, so there are elderly, supportive, democratic women who are very, very close to him, who are supporting him. So we need to send all of these people lots of love and light and strength and peace, and but the strength and chutzpah to keep fighting. And then the change card, or not change card, the journey card. Now this is interesting, because so his card knights up here, or this card knights to him, which means that we can look to the house of recognition, which has to do with what a person actually can accomplish. It's she called it the house of recognition, but it's also the house of high honors. The card of high honors would be, where is it? Let's see, up here. Ooh, and it came through in the house of good tidings. So that is actually really good, and I like that it's in the same line. So Biden, even though he's in a challenging position here, his movement goes from, from being down here where it doesn't seem to, and this might be later on, a couple years into the, because here we are in 2021 over here, and this would be 2024, because I read like past, present, future. But I didn't assign to look at too much into the past. I assigned to look from now and then moving forward in time. So we have to, think of that. So these three columns could be 2021 into 2022, and then definitely 2022 into 2023, and then 23 into 2024. So as far as movement goes, Biden will be on this soul journey of receiving rewards and honor and achievement, and having success in his career, having a lot of public recognition, moving to a higher place in his career where he actually, achieves something, and might even receive some type of, or he'll, it would feel like having a promotion. And then it's moving in this direction. So here we have the military person. So we would follow the line this way. So military person is about the rules and regulations. So he comes from this place down here where there's a lot of pressure on him, but then he moves later on by the end of the year, by the end of the term, his first term, into having more rules and regulations. It being in the gift house means that something comes through that is very successful, where there's help and support, where there's some type of It's usually, it can be a reconciliation. So this could be him being able to use that reconciliation law. That's interesting, because, you know, they still have one left. Now, of course, it's only for budget purposes, for budget bills, budgeting. But, and he used one for the first one for the, you know, COVID relief package. And he hasn't used the second one yet, but over the years, they normally get to have one every year. But I think that they found a way to get more. So that's interesting. Because that comes through. Like this is the house of the reconciliation. And so this would be him receiving those laws, that those rules, actually, a rule and regulation, where he can responsibly use that and create stability, because he knows that that's what needs to happen. And then up here, so this is the card of expectation, which is just like this one over, you know, this house here. The card of expectation landed in the house of change. So that's interesting. And so investigations that come from the homeland, but then it goes out beyond. Yeah, the outcome. Well, yeah, it goes out beyond 2024. So there's going to be more rules and regulations, and then more investigations that are going to go. These investigations are going to take a long time. And that's further reiterated over here, because I read the, you know, the corner, the three cards around this corner card. The long way card lands in the house of fatality. So long way is usually 2 years, and it's, you know, it connects to right here. So it connects to change, and it connects to the younger guys, but, you know, like I said, 30s, 40s, early 50s, in Congress, in the on a Democratic representative in the House and Senate, Congress, basically. And maybe because it's landed in the house of fatality, maybe it won't take as long as we think. Because, well, or it could be that it takes a long time, but it will end. The changes that came in, I'm trying to get clear as to what this means. This long way card has to do with, besides the duration of time, it has to do with being patient. And it's right above the house of needing patience and more patience. My goodness. This is a card of persistence and things that take a long time to develop. Things that, but it does create, it's, you know, like long-term stability in the plans that a person would take in order to, in order to create something really solid. So that's what these younger guys are doing. And then, but the change is headed this way, so it kind of winds back into itself, where, you know, I think that this is some solid plans that are put into place. And then, but it's in the house of fatality, so it means that they know they have to get it done, is what I just heard. They know they have to do it. They have to, oh, I get it. This has everything to do with the Capitol riots, because, yeah, that's their focus. Okay, so the four corners here. Oh, and then we have court up here. That's right. So their focus. So remember, well, you guys have probably read enough or watched enough while I've read these grand tableaus, but in case you're new, the four corners to me frame in the cards that land in the four corners and the cards around each corner card. They frame in the meaning of the entire, reading, and the time frame. So what I'm getting now is that their focus will be on stabilizing, making really long-term plans, so that we can't ever have another one of these fatal attacks on our democracy. That they are working really, really hard. They're not going to give up on it. But that's the focus, that's the plan. They're still grieving, the whole situation. They're having a hard time with that. And so they will, I don't think they're going to just let it go. Because, and the reason I say that is because the change card right here is headed back towards this. So it's like, this is like, it's in. It would be like having, in the Lenormand, it would be like having the anchor card, as a goal. And, they're not going to just give it up. And they do have all the support of the older women, the wise women wise men and women in on the Democratic side. I don't think we're going to get zipped from there's at least 10 of them on the Republican side who are just appalled at what happened, at the insurrection. So anyway, let's see, where is the fatality card? Oh, it's up here. And that's in the house of Good Lady, which is, like I wrote up here, caring and support. So this shows us what will end and what they will. There's no card up here. It landed at the top, so there's nothing about like what they're grieving the most. What will end goes this way. So what they will be able to accomplish by the end of 2024 will be to lock up all the people who tried to steal the election, who were fraud, who, the insurrectionists basically. And, here's the cause of these insurrectionists. They tried to just stop everything and steal something. Stop the steal, basically, right here. And the effect that the Democrats will have on this will bring in hope, brand new hope. It might tie in as well to some foreign money. They may be seeing, because remember, we've got, the investigation thing going on here. Oh yeah, and this is what's great with the Grand Tableau. We can use the knighting technique to go 2 up and 1 over. And here we have money. We have money, like who brought money in? They're working hard, and they will that's their journey. They will continue to work really hard to figure out where the money came through. And I think there's going to be some discovery of foreign money. Yep, that's what I see there. When we have the win-lots card in the house of win-lots, so it's a double whammy of where did the money come from? Foreign. They will end up locking people up who received foreign money for the insurrection, and they're going to keep working on that until they get every one of them. Yeah, because it's all about, okay, so what I can say for sure is that one of the things they will accomplish by 2024 and set up some laws will be so that something like the insurrection can never happen again. That's what they're working on really strongly. That's their focus. Now, if I can ever finish these four corners, the reason I say that, that's what they're working on, and that's what will be accomplished, is because of, this is the courthouse card. And it's in the main character house, which would be Biden. So Biden's doing, even though, he's not involved himself, he will be fighting again, for that. He will be working on that as much as he can. He's for it. So yeah, wow. To have the court, so this is all the legal matters. This is, the court of law. Courts of law. This is all the states pressing charges on. This would include, like the FBI and CIA bringing people in, and then charges being pressed on them. These would be the people who, of course, stormed the Capitol and violently destroyed things and killed people and were out to hang Mike Pence. All of that. This card is a card of discoveries. It has to do with getting out of some type of, awful situation and getting decrees, passed. Bills passed, getting people locked up. And they will be having, the Democrats will be having lots of meetings to make sure that these people, that they're going to keep working on that, and lots of meetings, and there's going to be a discovery that there was, if they don't already have it, that there was foreign money involved. And that's further reiterated up here with, this expectation of money. So they know, they're already looking at it. That's great. They're going to be, meeting together. These would be like, well, I think everything's available on C-SPAN, but lots of get-togethers with the Democrats to make sure that all this comes out, and that people who made their way into the intimate chambers of the Capitol in a violent way, to make sure that they get locked up. That's what they will accomplish. Because there's a lot of sorrow for them about that. And all of that is hanging down over Biden. Okay, so back to the four corners. So yeah, it's about the younger guys, like imagine Eric Swalwell. He's fighting. I think he sued Donald Trump. There are a bunch of lawsuits. In fact, I found a tracker of lawsuits. I have to post it in the community section for you guys, where we can always go back and see how it's going for all the suits against Donald John Trump. But Eric Swalwell had a lawsuit against him. That's what these two cards here come together about. So this would be Eric Swalwell's lawsuit against Trump, but then he's joined together with all these other people, and they're going to find out that there was foreign money involved. And the way it's going to go is that by the end of 2024, there will be some, they're still going to be watching and investigating, but the change will bring in a joint, solid, this is house of marriage, or the card of marriage, but that doesn't mean that, somebody gets married. It means that a partnership is achieved. It's a business partnership in this situation, and it's an ability to, be in a bond with other people. So now I'm going to dive into these cards around here. So I think I covered this because this is about the safety of our homeland and the rules put in place. I'm hoping that there will be, because we have the court official here, right looking at these guys right here, so there's like court, and then the court official having to do with investigations, an investigator. This could be Sheldon Whitehouse. But he would also come through, you know, down here in the Good Gent. But this would be Sheldon Whitehouse here, you know, making those new rules about the dark money that's been hidden, right? This would be the foundation of, yeah, because the house card came through in the dishonesty house. So this is everything to do. We've got investigation, and new rules about those who receive money from dark money sources. You know, so we're talking, like I keep saying, Heritage Foundation. There's a Heritage Action Network, whatever. There are, you know, Koch brothers, the Mercers. I'm going to read on them separately, but this has to do, these cards, this right here, this has to do with new laws to protect from dark money getting into our politics. So if that's all that is accomplished in the next 3 to 4 years, that's enough. 2 to 3 years by the end of 2024, I think that's enough. It looks to me like the perpetrators of the insurrection will be locked up, and they will have new laws in place. There might even be a new law that says, oh yeah, remember, I forgot. Oh my goodness, it's in one of my videos from a long time ago, but they had a list of what they were, oh, I can't remember the name of that bill. I don't know if it ever got passed through the Senate, but they were working on a bill to get, to make sure that anybody running for president had to show 10 or 12 years of tax returns. You know, because if a person is in debt and compromised that way, then they can be, well, if they're in debt, they can be compromised, is what I should say. And then that's how it sets up the whole mess for receiving foreign money. So there will be a commitment, major commitment, to having those laws in place. Yeah, so there's so that the downtime would be minimized in the future as to qualifying a president, so that not just anybody can run. And it would be certain that Donald John Trump couldn't run again, and it could be certain that anybody else who has received foreign money, you know, like remember all those security clearances. These people should not have even, like Jared should have never been able to have a security clearance. I don't think anybody in Trump's family should have been able to have a security clearance. And all these people, you know, he said he was going to drain the swamp. No, he brought every swamp creature in so we could see them, though. But so this to me is like clean up on aisle 45. That's what's going to happen through the next 3 to 4 years. So, but just for teaching purposes, let's finish this up, because I just got clearly that's really what's going to happen. And if that's all they accomplish, it's good enough. But then again, it's more than that. They're going to be locking up people who create, or who were part of the insurrection and who created violence, who were violent. And I mean, that's right here, to have this, you know, this sad news card right here in the house of officer. Officer is over here. Military person, same as officer. And that has to do with these people who were lost. You know, people that we lost. These you know, people who died in the insurrection, and people who lost limbs and lost, you know, maybe they're still in PTSD and they resigned, right? I mean, it's been awful. That's what this is all about here. And this tells me that they will have their justice. People will be locked up. And I think there's some older person, some older, because we have sorrow in the house of good gent, I think there's some older, it could be Democrat or Republican. I mean, I was focused on the Democrats and what they could accomplish, but there could be an older Democrat or Republican man on either, either side, like I said, Senate or as a representative in the House, who is still very, very sad, will continue to be sad as to what happened, and will work hard to get these people locked up. The court system itself, the DOJ, they're going to be great. They're going to be fine. They're going to have good fortune over this. And yeah, because they're right in alignment with all of the investigators. And so there will be like a new, there's going to be new discoveries about other people who have stolen in the past. New investigations about that. There's going to be new things that come out that we don't even know about yet. This is interesting. I like that the letter card, I really appreciate that the letter card came through in the good outcome house, because this has to do with votes. But it also, so votes to support the cause, but also documents coming through to lock these people up. And all of that has the effect of great hope coming back. And they're going to work hard on that. Okay, so let's see if I've got everything here. So I get that there's going to be lots of change in the way they investigate things because of all of this. Changes in the way the court, new laws, so that this can't happen again. This card can sometimes be obstacles. It can sometimes be a dead end. At the least, it's, well, on another level, it's a very, like awful situation that just makes people sick. Right? I mean, it makes you sick to think about what happened on January 6th, and that there are still people out there that support it. But there's going to be rules. We're going to receive the gift of new rules and laws so that this doesn't happen again. So it can't happen in a new way. So that's what's going to change. Okay, that's good. And it will get, I believe it will get passed through court. We won't know. I mean, it's like 3 years from now, you know. We're going to watch this video and say, oh, hey, it came through. Yeah. Hopefully it's before. Hopefully this, the 2-year card is here. So it could be that all this comes through by, before 2023 even. Because we have the midterms in here. And this card could be the stand-in for the midterms. It could be that before the midterms, there's restriction around, any dishonesty, and especially restriction from foreign money. And this could be, let's see. Yeah, just like I said, if I say it again, I'll just be repeating myself. There's going to be strength that comes through from the courts. Now I feel drawn to focusing right in here, because here we have Kamala, and she's facing Joe, She's facing Biden. And what's in between them is a really good outcome over a very gloomy situation. But she's going to, oh yeah, Kamala coming through in the house of the long way, she's not going to let Joe, you know, she's a Libra, and he's a Scorpio. But I think the way she uses her Libra energy, I mean, of course she's good at relating, but so is he. But I think she uses it primarily, you know, in the most legal sense of the word, you know, for justice. You know, this way, like with the scales of justice. So she's not going to let him forget about, you know, what needs to be accomplished. And she's working with him. They're working together. What's between them will be something that's a really good outcome, and it's because she's not going to let him forget what happened. You know, he's got a lot on his plate. Remember, he's landed down here and all this is down, you know, over him. Weighing down on him. It's a lot. What's especially weighing down on him is the sorrow for what happened and knowing that these people need to be locked up. But there's good fortune that will come because of the courts. And that's especially reiterated because the court official card knights over here to the good fortune, and then up here to the, you know, like hope great water card, which is all about what they're yearning for and their vision, their hopes and visions. That's actually really good. And if we let go, if I let go of, you know, the for this purpose of explaining something here, if I let go of the foreign money situation, because that's like another just piece of it, and just let go of that and just tap into it, another meaning of the hope yearning or great water card is that it is the vision for the future. It has to do with a spiritual philosophy, but it's also you know, foreign connections, and Joe Biden is really good at foreign relations. So, and that's reiterated right here, and that helps. I mean, he's been successful in, you know, getting all of our European allies back, and he's undoing the damage that Donald John Trump created. So, again, this whole thing is like clean up on aisle 45. Okay, so it's taken me forever to do the four corners, but I think I'm ending with the four corners here. Because what I see is, like I said, Kamala helping Joe, and the cards that are hanging over her are, just like I said before, she's focused on justice. You know, she's using the divine ray of her Libra divine ray of justice here. And she's damn well focused on, pardon my French, on the safety and security of our homeland and all the rules and regulations. And to have the gift card, the rules and regulations will give the gift to her. So she's going to tap into the structure of all the rules and regulations. And she's going to support Joe that way. These cards behind his back are not auspicious for him, but they just show the past, and it also shows, you know, what he's not really focused on because it's being taken care of by Congress. And then what's ahead of him, what he does have control over, is his relationship with Kamala. And even though they're not married, you know, he's married to of course, you know, Dr. Jill. But he's you know, he's in a partnership. This is the partnership with Kamala. And these four corners speak to the rules and regulations that are in place and that will be created in the future, and that's going to support them. in the future. And this could be, so this rich girl card here is a stand-in for all of the feminine Congress people in the House and Senate, of course, who support Joe and Kamala. And then there could be, you know, they could bring in donations that will help them in the future, that will help Joe and Kamala. But also, they're going to work hard. Yeah. Okay, so I think that's it. Let me just tune in before I close up really quick. I don't want to skate over anything. Okay. In summary, there will be a good legal outcome. People will be locked up. Foreign money will be discovered in the plan. Like I said, clean up on aisle 45. New laws enacted to preserve our strength and security. Between Kamala and Joe, they've seen the worst that they ever want to see, and she's not going to let him forget that, you know, it needs to happen. Like, remember her questioning Bill Barr. You know, she was way ahead of everyone else with your question, you know, with her question to him as to, have you been talking to anyone else about how to support Trump? Because, you know, he's supposed to remain anonymous. She was trying to find out if anybody from the Trump administration had been talking to him about what he wanted, what Trump might want him to do. And he, you know, of course he said he couldn't remember. He came out saying he couldn't remember. It took him forever to say that, though. But she was way ahead of the game. So she's going to keep him, she's keeping Joe on his toes. She's supporting him. It's probably why he chose her. Probably felt a real kinship to her strength, to her legal strength. And she will continue, so especially to the end of 2024, she's going the long haul. Whether or not Joe runs a second term, she's in it for the long haul. So this has to do with her career. Yeah. She's going to work hard. So that's a nice little piece there, right, that I could have missed. All of the older, supportive female representatives, Senate and House, will be working intimately on who these people were that tried to, you know, stop the steal. Yeah. So, anything else? Yeah, even though the prison card landed in the House of Sad News, I think what the sad news is about is, yeah, it's just weighing on them. I get that it's weighing on the Democratic Party, or the House and Senate, Democratic representatives. It's weighing on them, these people who died. And the scam, the grift, it's weighing, that's a big part of it. And they're going to do everything they can to stop it. Because this is, you know, the card of restriction. Yeah, okay. Well, I think that's it. If you guys see anything that I may have missed, please drop it in the comments. And meanwhile, you guys take good care. Be back soon. Bye.